Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. You know that, guys, I love you and I love you permanently. So I know that most people, for example, graduates, are actually looking for jobs, and it's a very hard place to be in if you are currently unemployed. So I want to speak to you guys about a time in my life where I was actually unemployed and I was desperately looking for a job. And I remember that I was applying day and night. And guys, it's so stressful to be like in that place. By the grace of the Lord, I was actually called for an interview, and I thought I was prepared for that interview because I thought that it was going to be like the normal setup where you just, they welcome you, you sit down, and then they ask you questions about yourself and all of that. So I went there, thinking that I was all prepared and all of that, but only to find out that I was required to do a task before the actual interview even took place. So I was actually asked to do a typing test, and I think I was asked to do like 40 words per minute. And let me tell you, to my shock at that time, like my typing speed was not very good because I didn't have like a laptop at home, so there was no place that I was actually practicing in, and it was really, really a struggle for me to actually do the typing test. And that is where I realized that most people are actually looking for jobs, but they are not really prepared. We all think that we are going to have the same kind of setup when it comes to interviews, whereas that is not the case. So I was asked to do a typing test, and by the grace of the Lord, like guys, I'm telling you, God is real. I'm telling you, like I had no experience. Like I could type, but not like that. But luckily, I got that job, and that is where I realized that it's not only just about learning for the interview in terms of saying, oh, what am I gonna say when they say, tell me about yourself and all of those things. It's not all about that, but in some instances they want to see what you can do. And in some instances, for example, for that job, I was going to be mostly speaking to clients on the phone, so they needed someone who is able to type and all of that. So it's very important, guys, that you have some sort of skill that you can do. For example, you are able to type on a laptop. For example, you are able to use Excel. Let me tell you another story. So there is this one interview also that I went to, and it was like a finance post, because you'll know that I have a finance qualification. So it was a finance post, and I was also thinking to myself, probably they're just gonna ask me about finance and all of those things, and about myself, obviously. But let me tell you guys, when I got there and I got into the boardroom, there was a laptop there waiting for me, and it was what should I say, an Excel assignment. It's not even an assignment, like a test, because the first thing they asked me was, do you use Excel? Have you ever used Excel before? Are you used to Excel? And luckily, by the grace of the Lord, again, now I had been exposed to using Excel. So now imagine that you are a graduate fresh from university or college, and you have not maybe, learned the skill of actually knowing Excel, knowing how to use Excel, or knowing how to type, and you were faced, or you were in that kind of a scenario. Like, what would you do? So it's very important that as much as you are looking for a job, but you also enhance your skills. There is a video that I made previously about the important skills that you need to have in the workplace, because guys, I'm telling you that this test is a make or break. Because obviously, if they're testing you about Excel, it means that you're going to be using Excel like most of the time with regards to the job that you're actually applying for. So whilst you are out there looking for a job, you're going to companies and actually wanting them to take your curriculum vitae, it's also important that when you're at home, go to the library, practice how to type, open Excel, know how to calculate using Excel, like the basic things. Because I'm telling you, sometimes you're going to go to the working environment and there'll be nobody to teach you that. Like, there'll be nobody to hold your hand and teach you things like from A up to Z. So it's very important that as much as you are applying and you are hungry for a job, but you also prepare yourself that sometimes it's not always going to be like the normal setup when it comes to an interview, but sometimes you're going to be required to do a task. Sometimes you're going to be required to speak up, for example, in a room full of people. Listen, let me just tell you this one story before I leave. When I went to the contact center to actually apply for a job, it was a bunch of people filled in the room. I think it was 50 people. And, individually they would ask us to stand up and introduce ourselves. We didn't know that was like the first stage to actually, testing us for this job. So you needed to be able to speak up, to communicate, to speak clearly. And so it was also my turn came to actually stand up and greet everybody, introduce myself, which I did. And the majority of people didn't get that post. Why? Because they could not clearly introduce themselves. So I remember that the second phase of that interview was now going to sit down like in an actual office, and then you're going to be interviewed like the normal interview. So guys, be ready for these things. Don't just think that it's going to be smooth sailing and it's going to be easy. So as much as you are looking for a job, but you need to also prepare at the same time. Yay! I thought I should just come and make this video, and I hope that it has enlightened somebody and that you will not take interviews lightly, because you can either make it or so please do like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know that, guys, I love you and I love you permanently, and I will see you guys again on my next video. Have a good one. Bye for now.